Next, we're gonna laminate a roll of prints on our 255C. We're gonna start by loading our laminating film onto our rear supply shaft. We have the machine actually flipped around to give you a better view of loading. So we're gonna start by opening our cradles on each side. We're gonna remove our shaft. We're gonna slide our shaft onto our roll. And then we're gonna take our shaft and then load it on. We do have an arrow on the end here, so we can kind of get a better view of where the key is on the left side. And then we're gonna use that to load it up. And then line our material up, close our cradles, and then use our ruler. We know it's 54, so we can put it between the 27s on the ruler and center it. Now we're back at the front of the machine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually load our roll of printed media onto our front supply shaft. So once again, we're gonna open our cradles up and remove the supply shaft. Slide our roll onto our shaft. And we're gonna load it up. Drop it in, and then I'm actually gonna, before I close it up, I'm gonna actually turn the shaft, put my alignment disc on the right side, and then I'm gonna get it all, close my cradles. We already have our alignment disc on this side tightened, so I'm just gonna slide this one over and tighten down my right side one. And we're all loaded up. Next, I'm gonna actually go to my laminating film up top. And what I wanna do is I'm gonna actually use these media alignment discs to make sure my film is matching up with my prints. So I'm gonna bring this down, and I'm just gonna look and see if they're in between, if my film is up in between the alignment disc. As a guide, it's a little over, so I'm gonna move my film over a little bit and line it up a little better, and then I'm just gonna go back up top and just wind my film all the way back up. So now we're gonna web up our machine, and we're gonna start by working with our top film. And what we need is, when we bring our film down, we're gonna have to separate the release liner from the film. And by doing that, we're gonna have to put some kind of adhesive or some kind of tape on here to wind up our release liner. So we can use like a strip of double-sided tape. That's simple if you have that. If you don't, you just have a regular roll of tape. Here's a little trick you can do. We can take our tape, and what I do is I go to the middle, I put the tape on here, I do a rotation with the tape, just regular, and then I pull the tape back, and then I spin the shaft the other way. And what that does is, if you go all the way around, it gives you a double-sided all the way around of sticky side. So next, we're gonna actually bring our film down now, and we're gonna pull our film, and we're gonna go under this silver idler here, the spinning silver idler. We're never gonna bring in front of here. This is just a support bar, this beige bar. So we're gonna go between the bars actually, and then we're gonna come straight up, and we're gonna attach our film to our tape. And then I'll give it like a rotation around. And then what I want to do next is I have to get my film separated from my release liner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score my film on this, and I'm going to use this idler bar to score it. And I just want to cut across. So I want to be like careful. I don't want to cut through both the film and the release liner. So I want to kind of get that right pressure against it and go across. And then we'll see if we can separate it now. I'll lift it up a little bit. And our film's gonna come down. And I'm just gonna bring my film down like this and let it rest on the roller. So next in the webbing process, we're gonna actually attach our printed media to our film. So what I'm gonna do by starting is I'm gonna grab the start of my media, and when you do this process, I should add in here, you're gonna want to leave about a foot of leader on your print. And I would start with the foot as you get, but as you get more comfortable, you could probably go down to less than that. You'll see, you probably won't need as much as a foot, but it's good to start. It just makes it's a simple process, so it's just good to have that leader. So I'm gonna bring my film up, or my media up, and I'm just gonna bring it up even, and I'm gonna stick it to my film, like that. So now what I wanna do is I gotta bring my roller down, but I wanna push my media in first. So what I want to do is if I just try to push this in right now, it would probably fight me. So I'm gonna make it easier. I'm gonna roll back a little bit and just give it some slack. And then I'll just push, and probably the most important step in this whole process is when we push this in like this, and we can even go up here if our hands don't fit, we can go up a little bit with the roller. That's no problem at all, because I wanna make sure when I push this in that I got this film tight to the roll and my media tight. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and then once I feel comfortable, if this has a lot of waviness in it, then just push it in a little tighter and go from there. So next I'm gonna close my roller, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down till the rollers touch, and you'll feel the hand wheel stop. When I get to that point, I'm actually gonna give it, just because we're running off the roll here, I'm gonna give it, we're at about 630 on our hand wheel right here, if you could see it. I'm just gonna go to a little bit like 730, so I'm just gonna get just a little more pressure, and that's it. We don't want to turn it like a quarter turn, half turn. That's gonna be too much, and what we're gonna see is, as we run this, and especially on a longer run, it's all gonna wave to the middle, buckle, and start to put bubbles in. So overpressure is the last thing we wanna do. And then finally, before we're ready to run this, I'm gonna take my media, my print hold down bar, and I'm gonna put it back onto my table. Just so it keeps the print flat as it runs and doesn't trigger the photo eye and stop the machine. And so we can run and not with the foot pedal. And now we're just gonna start our roll. So once we start it, what I'm gonna look at first, I'm gonna show you, is my release liner take up. Right now, it's up on the idler right now. We don't want that. We don't want that to pull the film up with it and stretch that film out, because when we do that, what can happen is we can start to see wrinkles form. So I'm actually gonna go to my clutch here, and I'm gonna really back this off and go down pretty much to really loose. You're gonna find it really loose, and I'm gonna let that liner come slack. But don't forget this, make sure this is turning. So I'm gonna find a point like that, let it come down, and kind of form some slack. Couple things here. One, we don't have to worry about stretching the film, but two, we can use it almost as if you have a dusty area or something, you're worried about anything sticking to this film and getting dirt, dust on. By leaving this down, we can even stop it with our hand and let it come down. That doesn't hurt anything. We can use it as a protectant and against dirt dust. Just making sure we don't let it go too far down and go into our rollers. So we gotta watch it. So we always wanna make sure it is turning on here. So we got that working right. We like what we're doing there. We're gonna go our film, and our film's gonna be pretty simple. All it is gonna be is we wanna see the least amount of resistance and tension on our film shaft without seeing wrinkles forming on the film, as we see here. And if we see a little wrinkle form here at the top, that's fine. We don't want to see wrinkles down here where it's going in, it's gonna meet our print and come out the other side with a big wrinkle. So the least amount on here, what we find out is if we just crank this tension, it will run fine at first, but you're gonna stretch your film, you're gonna take your print off, you're gonna trim it out, you're gonna lay it on the table, and it's gonna up curl really bad. And that's where you know you have too much film tension. On our bottom one, all we want to do is we want it to come in without buckling, lay flat like it is going in. Same thing though, we don't want to over tighten this. We want to just have it run straight, flat, and that's it. We don't want to stretch that media, just like we don't want to stretch our film, so we want to adjust it. So once you find those spots, you're probably not going to have to do a lot of adjustments once you get familiar with it and run it. It'll be pretty easy. This one, we'll always have to watch our liner because it will want to creep up a little bit, and we'll have to kind of find that sweet spot on here as it runs.